Ich war ein ganz wilder Junge.
I was pretty wild as a kid,
Immer vorneweg bei den
always leading everyone into trouble up to the craziest of antics. I was forever being told off, always trying to be the ringleader, was very active, played a lot of football with my friends.
5:3.
It was a small town where everyone just went out to play without having to worry about anything.
Schieß halt auf. 5:1.
I have nothing but good memories of my childhood and really treasure these. I try to pass them on to my kids and to also give them a good childhood.
und denen auch eine schöne Kindheit zu geben. Als ich 5 Jahre alt war,
One winter when I was 5 years old, I suddenly became very ill. I had bloody diarrhea and awful headaches. I felt very poorly. Initially, the doctors also couldn't work out what was wrong with me. After about a week, I was admitted to the university hospital in Cologne, where they diagnosed hemolytic uremic syndrome triggered by coliform bacteria, EHEC for short. They were then able to treat me, but it became clear to me that I would be a regular visitor to the hospital in the future. Over the years, my blood values unfortunately continued to deteriorate.
es so gewesen, dass meine Werte sich immer mehr verschlechterten.
By the time I was about 30, I had reached a point where really strict, continuous monitoring was necessary.
Andreas told me relatively soon after we met that he would need dialysis at some point in the future. He couldn't tell me exactly when that would be, though, in 2 years' time or perhaps only 10. At the time, I couldn't really imagine what this would involve.
Wir waren 4 Jahre verheiratet.
We'd been married for 4 years when the nephrologist told me,
Ihre Werte sind jetzt so schlecht geworden.
"Your blood values are now so bad that we really need to begin with dialysis." I was then given the choice of 2 different procedures: hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. I decided that peritoneal dialysis would suit me better, as I can complete the process entirely for myself at home. It was very important to me to be able to continue working alongside my dialysis.
I was immediately in favour of PD because I felt that having a partner who's gone for 6 or more hours 3 times a week would have more of an impact on family life and our partnership than doing the dialysis at home.
Kann es ja in der Wohnung machen, kann sich im Endeffekt frei bewegen.
Here he's free to move around, or at night while he's sleeping, when it doesn't bother anyone anyway. It places far fewer constraints on the family and partnership.
Because I do the PD at home, I naturally also need all of the equipment for this there. I can store the boxes of dialysis solution in the cellar, but things like the connector kits and discharge bags have to be stored in the house. It all creates a great deal of waste. Fresenius offers to take the packaging back. Personally, I prefer to dispose of it myself though. I take it to the recycling centre and throw the boxes in the paper container. It just means I have a bit more space in the cellar. I've always been the kind of person to question everything, who wants to know why things are the way they are. I can understand something of how it all works. The dialysis with the rinsing process, that this is pumped in and remains in the body for a while. It's something that I can understand. It isn't a black box for me. And I would like to be able to share this with my kids today so that they understand how it all works and aren't just left with questions and assume that it's God-given. Of course, it's out of my control, but I still often want to know the reason for things.
Die Johanna wurde im Juli.
Johanna was born in July, and I completed my first peritoneal dialysis a few months later in around October, November. My son Benedict was born 2 years later in 2011. Just like Johanna, he's actually grown up being around my dialysis. They don't know me any differently. Carpe diem. I'm well aware that I should try to live consciously every single day. I know that today is a wonderful day and that I must make the most of it. That's one minor disadvantage of dialysis. You're not entirely free, you have to plan it in, to take it into account and also adapt to it. But I find that this works best with the PD. So at the start, I was told that I might be able to do peritoneal dialysis for 2, maybe 3 years. It's actually been 8 years now though, and this is also one small thing where I can perhaps say, I've been lucky, really lucky.
Da habe ich mal Glück gehabt, richtig Glück gehabt.